The New York City Council passed a package of police reforms today. Now, some of this legislation had lingered for years, but it's on the fast track after the outcry and protest over George Floyd's killing in police custody. CBS 2's Andrea Klein-Thomas has the story for us tonight.
There was outrage after Eric Garner's death at the hands of the NYPD in 2014. But it wasn't until George Floyd faced a similar fate hundreds of miles away when it struck a much deeper nerve right here at home.
Some of us voted a few years ago for additional police officers. Some of these bills should have moved quickly. I want to apologize for that and not make up excuses.
On a Zoom meeting, a sign of the times, City Council passed a package of police reforms, among them requiring officers to show their badge numbers. Council members said were hidden as tensions mounted during the protests. The NYPD has maintained the black bands were widely worn to mourn officers lost to COVID. Also, a disciplinary matrix will be created to make sure it's clear what the consequences are for certain offenses, and a chokehold ban that goes even further than the one passed by state lawmakers.
It prohibits an officer from sitting, kneeling, or standing on a suspect's chest or back in the course of effecting an arrest.
The sense of urgency is in direct response to protests that have now lasted 3 weeks with no clear signs of letting up. During the process, the Public Safety Committee heard from the NYPD about its concerns regarding certain aspects of the reforms, but council members did not modify the legislation many say is long overdue.
There's a lack of transparency, accountability, and fairness that pervades the New York City Police Department, and it encourages a culture of brutality and abuse.
The reforms also come as the city looks to cut police funding by possibly $1 billion, a clear departure from past budgets since Garner's untimely death, where the council voted to add more cops to the streets.
There was a need to raise the head count so that we could have a unit of neighborhood coordination officers that could be taken off of patrol, off of radio runs, and really focused in their particular sectors so they had time to build relationships.
With a renewed will, council members say these reforms are a small step, showing the power the collective can have when joining their voices to protest. Andrea Klein-Thomas, CBS 2 News.